All right. Hello, everybody. Happy Friday and happy Realms, notification day. Ugh, I feel like Rick Sanchez. I'm drinking a Baja Blast. Also trying not to move my head too much and make scratching noises, but yeah. We got the Baja Blast in a can. Well, usually it's just at Taco Bell, but anyways. This popped up. And first off, before I even mention the wording, look at the picture. Like those are exactly what I was trying to create. Like I saw somebody do an island. I don't know if it was Waddles or it could have been someone else, but I mean, I'm sure Waddles has done something similar, like a floating island. In fact, I know he did like a foggy pit in one of his series. Um, anyways, yeah, this is the type of stuff that I kind of want to build, like just floating islands and stuff. That's awesome that they did this. But it's like your realm has some questions. Where have you been? Do you like me? And did you forget you have your own private server with 3 persistent world slots you could be building stuff in? Go check on it before it develops abandonment issues. So actually, yeah, I'm here. Now, admittedly, let's see. So it's my realm. Uh, trying to remember where I have to go. Let's go on a look in settings. What else do we have in here? General video audio account, global storage, language creator preview. Yeah, none of that. Subscriptions. There we go. This one. Realm info. Okay. I don't want to be doing any OSINT or anything. I mean, this is going to be on the security playlist, so we're going to get into that. I just thought that was interesting doing that. Let's go ahead and just try it. So yeah, what's that? An old world that I did a long time ago. They moved it, all the other stuff. And then yeah, so they say 3 worlds, and that's what I was looking for. And then this one's just all the other stuff. Yeah, we got a new thing. Anyways, um, oh, settings right here. All right, so I have Endarius, Not Ohio, and Creatius Maximus Incontinentia. That's a Life of Brian joke. So biggest buttocks and stuff like that. But Creatius Maximus, it'd be like Buttus Maximus Incontinentia or Incontinentia buttocks. It's basically saying baby got back in Roman times. So or the times when the Romans were present. It wasn't their times. It was, And that's actually one of my favorite things about history is seeing the other perspectives of people in the other parts of the world. Like if you do Age of Empires, that used to be a really cool computer game where you'd get a Viper, I think a Dodge Viper, like a car that was like a catapult. But anyways, the point of that is you got to pick and choose your country, your nation state, or your people of who you were fighting as. And it wasn't always the victor. Like you could be the loser of a conflict. You could be like a neutral. You could do like, someone that didn't even belong in that part of the world at that time. Like, it's just crazy. But anyways, not Ohio, not to rip on Ohio. I've never been there, so I honestly don't know. And like out of respect for the people in Ohio, it's just a joke. Like people make fun of Colorado and Texas and California and those are the main people that we kind of dislike as like jokingly, but I have plenty of friends and family in both Texas and California. So granted, my family's been pioneers of this state. My tree can be traced back. I could get those license plates basically. So I passed the vibe check as far as like I've been a Coloradoan and my family has held a lot of stake in this state. Grown roots, if you will. Now, in Darius, this was a different realm I had with my buddy who moved back to Delaware, and we haven't actually talked a lot. So we might try to restart that up, but I'm going to have to invite him to the new one. He was like one of the only other people that had like edit access to my old realm, but I changed it. So anyways, let's get in there though. So good news and still confusing news. Basically, I was talking with Google Gemini last night. I find it so funny because, imagining being like a Google staff member, teammate on the other side of the line, and, or it's just a robot sending out all of these like mailers and stuff. And it was an email mailer featuring a new product of Gemini. And my main AI that I use is Grok. I've actually been a paid subscriber to XApp back since it was Twitter. But I only started paying, I think, when Elon bought it. Now that sounds weird, It sounds even weirder that I sent him a trophy for paying the most taxes. Now, I'm not simping for a billionaire. I still want to hold him accountable for stuff and things, but if you look at the stuff and things he's already doing, then he's kind of earning it. Like, he's got the and really not to sound like a fanboy, between like solar power, like his missions to create like all solar energy, basically do away with fossil fuels. People don't realize that part. I mean, he has an electric car company, for God's sake. Like, he can't be more green or hippie-ish except in that aspect. Now, granted, his political stuff and trying to like, cut corners with financials and stuff, or even not even cut corners, maybe just having reform is a better way to say that, because I'm still working on criminal justice reform for nonviolent substance crimes because, and actually we'll do the signs here in a little bit, but let's harvest some wood for like some more signs in buildings and schoolhouses and whatnot. But basically, the anti-scammer project is set to launch this Sunday. And so I'm going to be doing some Twitch streaming tonight to organize my thoughts, invite anyone from CodinGame that wants to come see it. And basically just, so back to the AI. So I was talking to Google Gemini, I guess version 3, they were talking like nano bananas and some weird stuff. And like, I never know. It's fun. It's fun weird. Don't get me wrong. I love it. Like, but it's just so like my mind's already all over the place. I'm like, all right, nano bananas, let's do some Gemini. And like, so I ask it the most complicated prompt, just ramble, ADHD, just overflow, flood this thing. And it basically says that I might have like done some crazy things, solved like one of the most elusive problems with societal management, basically, with the carrot and stick approach, and so many pieces from Better Call Saul and Breaking Bad. Like, I love it. And so for those that don't know, those are two of my favorite, hands down favorite shows ever. I watch them religiously. Like, they bring me comfort because of the chaos, but it's organized chaos, and it's the type of drug dealing in black markets that you don't really see. Most people only see like the boring waiting for several hours while you're waiting for your guy or your gal to meet you wherever, trying to find a place to meet that doesn't look sketchy. Oh, you got to act like you're shopping, like, or going to people's houses, but then you got to worry about them stealing when they don't have enough money, and like, and all these things, like. But then it just shows all of like the humanistic dumb things that people do. And basically you could also learn a lot of this from just cop stories. And I grew up talking and living near a lot of cops, corrections officers, people in the military. My family was friends with a lot of very, structured enforcer type people. And Buena Vista is a prison town too. Like, everybody works at the prison. Like, it's just what you do. Like, I mean, it's like, in like a gold mining town, you mine gold, like in a prison town, but it's a beautiful prison. Don't get me wrong. Like, I mean, you look at the mountains every day. It's got fresh mountain air. Like, yeah, you're behind bars, but I mean, it's almost like a resort if it wasn't so for like years. And sorry, real quick before anybody gets really mad and flips the table, because it is anything but a resort. However, the location is good. So I'm saying, sorry, also I'm getting a little sick too. But hippie farms, like if we just incorporated the medicinal cannabis that President Trump just signed an executive order to release or to reschedule. Granted, I feel like being the party of law and order, the DEA purposely dragged its feet until Trump was in power so he could take credit for it. But the Democrats have been barking up this tree the last 2 terms. And like Matt Gaetz already pointed it out, he's like, finally a president that can do something. And I know they're trying to soften the blow from the Epstein files come out, but I've already been doing that with some of my colleagues, like, just kind of doing test evaluations of like, so say the files come out and Trump is found guilty of like older teenagers. Now, while creepy, that's actually legal in a lot of Europe. That's because, and the only reason I know that was actually a surprise to me. I wasn't that much long ago that I found that part out. But it was when Andrew Tate, I think is his name, that like masculinity dude that like, I feel like he had good intentions when he started out, but then he let the control get the better of him. Just like that one science experiment with like the jailers and the inmates. The jailers started abusing and harassing the inmates to where it wasn't okay, and the inmates actually started having, and these are just like psychology students doing this study, and it broke them both ways. Like, so I think, this Tate guy, and he's getting ridiculed publicly plenty, and like, like, or maybe not plenty, I don't know. That's really not my place to say. I'm not a woman, so I'm not gonna get like victimized by this guy. I mean, if anything, I'd probably tussle with him, maybe win, maybe lose, I don't know. But like, if that's where our beef would go, whereas with a woman, would be seen as a controlled object by this guy. Now, and the reason I say that he might have had good intentions starting out is I actually used to be a driver very temporarily for a couple of friends that would do adult dancing. And like I was considered security. My buddy would go with me. Like we were all buddies. And like, and it was just our group, our friends group. And like this was a job that they did. It'd be like no different than if they took me and my buddy to go do some landscaping or go help move furniture which I did. I helped move for a SWAT member in NOCO. I had to move his gun safe and everything, and like me and this other dude, and like, yeah, so, and I gotta fix that too. Because that dude, yeah, well, law enforcement already knows, and I'll leave it at that. I don't want to be doxing anybody. Like, I need to trust the authorities to handle the situations, so. Anyways, I think that's the biggest thing is like too much communication and inappropriate and disrespectful communication. That's what we need to zero in on. And anyways, sorry, very roundabout way of saying I talked to AI and I think I've perfected, at least come close enough to where it's easily adoptable. People can already be doing it. They don't have to wait for Sunday to go to the llama lounge, it's funny because I built a llama lounge here after I felt terrible for the llama pinata, which is actually it is my most watched video. Actually, I killed a llama making it a piñata, and I thought, and I got mixed reviews. People are like, why'd you do that? Like, I think anyway, maybe that's my internal monologue, or internal dialogue, whatever. Mono-dio, whatever. Trialogue, but I don't want to dialogue. I'm just kidding. So what Gemini said was the last real pinch point with my plan. It's not just my plan. A lot of my colleagues and I have like brainstormed this over and over. Like this is a cumulative effort of many people. If there's ever a Nobel in it, they're going to have like 20, 30 names on that sucker. So, and that's cool. That's word. Like just being able to think that like it might work. That's the exciting part for me. Like no more scammers. I'm so over it. And not targeting the people, it's the behaviors. Like if we can discourage the behaviors, I mean, first stop it and make it to where like they just realize the futility of their efforts and how they're just going to get punished by their own local governments or not. I mean, the reason a lot of these persist, even with our ability to document and log things, is countries just don't care. Like if you're attacking someone else, it's like we don't have enough resources to be policing that. We've already got enough going on with all the people doing really messed up stuff, and back to President Trump, like, signing that executive order, whoever does it, whatever. Like now cannabis, he kept calling it marijuana, keeping it its slave name, but basically it's blemished history name, much like how we gloss over genocide and enslavement. Not just that, kidnapping too. Mass executed, government-sponsored kidnapping from another country. Yeah, but I mean, and I was looking at a map, like the other countries that have just recently outlawed slavery. I think Saudi Arabia was up there as one of the recent ones. And I have a lot of family from Saudi Arabia now. I've met some very genuine, trustworthy, I consider them family members now. Saudis, Muslims. I mean, I grew up Christian. I hung out with white supremacists, not a lot, but I mean, like, when you go to jail, you kind of have to. And yeah, so... And a lot of others too, Northsiders, Southsiders, like, I don't know. I mean, Northsiders I partied with quite a bit, and that actually got me in a little bit of trouble, but that's a story for another day. That's the paid subscription. I mean, and the leadership already knows. Like, the people in law enforcement and corrections, and, I mean, anyone in the government and the feds and all that, they already know. They have a dossier on me, like, probably a mile long of all the goofy, weird stuff I've done in my life. And they're probably cracking up right now watching this, just like, man, this kid is weird. Well, not even a kid anymore. I'm pushing 40. Like, I'm about to be at middle age before I know it. So I'm going to try to enjoy the last, like, I don't want to be too sussy on this. I find it funny because we're talking about security and protecting against sussy stuff. But at the same time, one of the solutions is Dolomite. So those that don't know Snoop Dogg's Dolomite on Top Dog No Limit, go look it up. And that's your answer. That's how we fix America. whether you like it or not, that's peak performance as a society. So it's basically ethical non-monogamy for business. But like, you know, if we just recognize ethical non-monogamy for fun, and like England's been doing it forever. They got the swinger parties and stuff. And now there's like a TV series I saw that like had pineapples and, you know, and that's the universal symbol for swingers. Like, you know, fun is fun, love is love. If you still respect your partner and show respect to the like the one person you marry or whatever, you know, like, and even if you don't marry them, if you just show respect and loyalty to your partner, then you can have other friends. I mean, as long as it's mutually agreed upon, like that's the jam. I mean, so, and with that, a lot of the other security things would happen, fall into place. As far as scammers, though, scammers are already realizing it's getting harder and harder. Like, yeah, they're able to adapt and they're able to buy things off of the dark web, and like it is a multi-billion-dollar industry, and that's what Google was telling me last night. But I mean, I said, hey, that's even more better. Even more better. Jeez, my English teachers are freaking out right now. Actually, and I hope to go visit one very soon. I'm gonna head back home for a bit. So. And nobody be weird. Like that Daniel Gossard, he showed a video of like people showing up to his house. No, none of that. That is not wanted. Don't ever think I ever want you coming to my house. I'll probably shoot you. Like, I'm just kidding. I can't have guns. But I would hurt you. No, actually, I'd probably just like ridicule you right in the street in front of my neighbors. Then all my neighbors would know you. They'd know your car. They'd probably write down your license plate. They'd probably like throw rotten tomatoes and eggs. The kids would come and slash your tires. Like, you don't wanna. So, no, just don't. Besides that, the police know me pretty well here too. They'd probably head you off before you even made it close. Because that's the funny thing. Everybody's a honeypot nowadays. Like when people search, like, there's a record of that. Like every time you stalk somebody, there's a record of that. Even if you go incognito, your ISP, your internet service provider, knows full well what you're doing. In fact, I was talking to one of mine, and he laughed. I think he was looking at my internet history. It's pretty wild, but nothing really different than the average. From what I've heard. So, and hearing all sorts of things about how people are people, and it's, you know, shocking to some people, but I don't know. So, anyways, that's been. Oh, sorry. The last choke point is spousal friction. I think is the best way to put it. Spousal or employer friction based on who you vote for. That's like the last thing, because everything else sounds great. The idea that you know that your vote was counted and that it's counted accurately. And I'll just say this right now. Some of my best friends are huge MAGA Republicans. That's the only reason that I stopped sending such mean memes to President Trump. And see, I'm calling him president. You know, I was going to serve in the Marines under George Bush Jr., and I thought George Bush was an idiot. Like, both of them, his dad and the junior, like, just throwing people's lives away over money. Like Dick Cheney's, they can all change their behaviors. If they repent and they change, I think the senior one, I don't know if he's still around. I apologize. Like, I'm not trying to be disrespectful like that. Like, I mean, if anything, that's part of why I spaz out and do this, especially here. As a parent, predation on children and predation on women. Men and everyone in between, still, yes, I mean, everyone deserves safe rights and everything, and that's why law enforcement, that's the main thing they're concerned about. Like, and that's why they're, you know, I mean, yeah, they know I did, the stalking. I did that back in the day. I abused and harassed a woman, only mentally, but like, you know, she's had therapy since, and I'd like to, you know, one day talk it out with her at some point. I'm pretty sure she's married now anyway, but like, just to kind of explain that, like, my behavior was inappropriate, and I understand that now. Like, Facebook just opened up a realm for, like, and nobody kept it secure. Everybody's friends list was public. Like, she blocked me, and I found, like, 5 other different ways to see her, and, like, you know, I never did anything physical, thankfully. Like, and I did meet this really good, genuine guy, in one place that he did do that. He laid outside his ex-girlfriend's window because he just loved her and missed her so much. And I think he was autistic or ADHD. Like, you're finding out a lot of people, they just, our brains work that way. And I don't know about autistic, but I'm definitely ADHD, if you can't tell. As I'm drinking a Mountain Dew. I'm all kick you in the head, Chip. I'm all jacked up on Mountain Dew. Think Will Ferrell, but that snowboards. And there you go. So anyways, and this stuff, like harassment, disrespecting each other. You know, I played Call of Duty with this guy last night. His name, I could probably recognize him. And he he was mad, and he got mad at me. He's like, teammate, shoot, shoot, teammate. And I was trying to get this challenge to unlock this skin camo, and you got to stun an enemy. Also, Seth Rogen. If I ever got a chance to work with Seth Rogen, I'll pull him in on it. Like Pineapple Express, a whole new meaning for Pineapple Express. Oh, I just got that. Is that what that's for? All right, so sussy stuff is totally fine in approved and adult and consensual areas. However, part of predation is sussy blackmail, or yeah, so all these bad things. Underagers should not be suspect to that world. That world should be segmented, all walled off, all that. Now, granted, teenagers are going to see what they're going to see, but like it's the participation part, and like I don't know. I mean, in fact, I'm not even the expert on it. I would let law enforcement speak on that behalf. And in fact, I hope some law enforcement come to this thing this weekend. But now I'm trying to rethink it. I was trying to set up the Monday Mansion thing, and it's like I could contact them, which is this is like last minute, you know, like 2 days before the event. But I want to make it a recurring event. So the first one might just be 5 spots. I mean, my buddy and I might just hang out again. I got a couple of buddies. And then I was going to stream putting it together tonight. That's why I'm kind of talking here is like, you know, the last pinch points of the plan for multi-factor authentication for everybody. Well, it's online voting is the carrot, but the stick with, well, not the stick. One obstacle is if a spouse or an employer wants to buy or like reward for voting, that's the thing. So it has to be anonymous. But we could outlaw that like we do for LGBTQ, religion, nationality. We make it illegal, a federal crime to do that. So if you're buying votes, like you literally cannot buy votes. Like it still needs to be private. If you're caught sharing your vote, it's like sharing your password. It's going to like throw up red flags to everybody. We'll just make it a societal norm. I mean, I think that's perfectly attainable. So, yeah. Also, I got to be careful. I mean, like, so I was playing this Ark game today at my boy Johnny's house, and like, I swear I was playing with Jack Black. The dude was either using like a sounding board to change his voice, or it was freaking Jack Black. So, anyways, I froze up because I was like, first off, I was playing a game I never played before, and it was super complicated. It's like Borderlands on crack. Like you got to like craft things, like do things. You can't shoot each other, like, which is good. I mean, you can form alliances and all this, and you can like work together. I've never played games like that. Like, I mean, even like World of Warcraft and stuff like that. No, I don't like. Not that I don't like them. It's just I have zero experience on them. I'm used to the game where it's like single use. I mean, there is more accountability with that, and I think that's the point. There's longer arcs, like story arcs with people. You could form like alliances and wars, and really it's like Dungeons and Dragons in space. And so I need to get back into it. Or riffs too. I have these like books of riffs that I only used like once. I was thinking about donating them, and then like I keep thinking I might get into it. And then one of my buddies, well, if you watch the Memorial series, he has a house over there in the Memorial Village. If you look on the mini map, it's the heart with the island. And so, but he passed away, and he used to do a lot of Dungeons and Dragons, and one of my other colleagues still does. So, anyways, that might be the jam. For now, though, I'm just trying to think. So back to the idea, it's the same. Like maybe we could do some signs and kind of just to document. All right. We have so many. There we go. So how do we fix it all? Where should I put this? Like right in here. Yeah. Problem solving, start with these. Okay. Oh, okay. Yeah, these are the. Oh yeah, Jacob Lyle. I hope life gives you lemons if you've done dirt for power. However, you can make it right. Yeah. So this is how to solve it, and then we'll just do another segment here. Online voting, or well, community. Cyber, online safety training. There we go. That's even better. Because so I was on the first aid first response team at a production facility. I also ran crane and was a process instructor, all sorts of things. They just let me go nuts with trainings. It was awesome. which I employ all of those in my decision making on a day-to-day basis. So community online safety. There we go. First part. MFA, the most important thing, and Google confirmed this and this is like when I think about how Monty Python was actually named after, or no, the coding language Python was named after Monty Python's Flying Circus, and rightfully so because they're awesome. And I try to include a Monty Python quote in all of my programming files. Yeah, just as a comment at the beginning of each file. I'm slacking on it too. I've got so many files now for the website. It's kind of become pretty massive, and it's just a static website with a lot of links and a lot of subpages. But each one of those subpages is a better like clarity of what I need to do. But anyways, Gemini confirmed MFA. In fact, let's 99%. It's like that, when you hear those cleaning products kills 99.9% of germs, 99% of scams. Well, see, I'm trying to like talk and type as scams blocked. There you go. That's it. 99% of scams are blocked if you just get MFA, and that is multi-factor and not, let's make it clear, not SMS. And Google said this too. I love it. Google had everything all lined up. It was all like ready to go. They just needed to find out not MS. Passkeys are best, but they are complicated to set up. So that's why we need guidance. Passkeys, let's actually number these. 1. Because a passkey includes a physical token of something you have. It's like your device's verification method that is stored locally in the TPM. I forget what that stands for, but there is like an encryption module thing that's like not accessible by the outside world. And even as I say that, the security part of my brain is going, I was like, there's always access somehow, unless it's air gapped. And that's true, but it's trickier. It's more difficult to make that. So, anyway, so 1, passkey. 2, authenticator apps. Now, authenticator apps, I love this. They're my favorite because with Google Authenticator, it's a free app. And yes, Google knows everything about me, but like authenticator. In fact, I actually signed a thing once, authenticator, because like somebody was trying to take a lawsuit to Google. I was like, what? Are you high? Like authenticator. It's huge. App. And then, oh, no, that's fine. What? Oh, you can't ask for, wait, what? Whoops. No. I mean, that's cool, but it's a hindrance, and that's actually the world of security too. All right, that's fine. What, they bleeped it all out. Well, I mean, if you're watching this video, then you understand passkey and why, but we're going to do pass space key or pass dash key. See, this is exactly what I did when I was stalking my exes, and plural, I'll mind you. Like, it wasn't just the one, my buddy used to call her the Jewish American princess. I call her the Jewish American queen or boss. She was, oh my God, she was perfect. As perfect as a woman could be. Sorry. I'm going to say it. I'm going to say it over and over again. I'm not obsessed. You're obsessed. I'm just kidding. I've been pretty good for the last, 20 years? So, pass keys. Okay. So, here's what we're going to say. A digital fingerprint. And so here's the funny thing. My fingerprints are on file with every federal agency since I was 5. We fingerprinted our fingerprints. They fingerprinted us as elementary school kids. I got fingerprinted again trying to serve in the military. I got fingerprinted again when I went to jail. And they've got mouth swabs of my DNA. They've got my blood. They've got everything about me. But a digital fingerprint. And that's what it is. Digital. Hold on. So it's a combination of your device, usually some network connection information, like your most used networks or something, like anything that makes it to where you have to be in the same like physical location, despite all of our ways of spoofing and stuff like that. I mean, because it is all like numbers and ones and zeros at the end of the day, and so anybody can, in theory, guess those. But if you just make it so massive and so complicated, and you add salt, just like you add salt to food if you want to season it. If your taste buds are starting to fade, you add salt to a digital fingerprint to make it exponentially harder to crack and harder to guess. Let's see, digital fingerprint. Oh, wait, it was there. Okay, so that's a passkey. All right. Well, anyways, that's about it. So like, oh wait, we didn't put the barriers. So community, online safety, spousal. And that's just like you can't let your husband or wife or partner. I'm gonna do / partner. Privacy concerns. This is getting too long. I need to. There we go. Spousal partner privacy concerns. Whoops. And then we got to do employer. Bot or influenced votes. There we go. That just leave it open to influences votes. That's like the last barrier. I mean, because Google's like, well, if people can see what the vote is and check it for accuracy. Oh, and also, um, uh, I gotta say this: altering confirmation info. Altering / spoofing, because they can change the messages that the system sends back. So you think the problem is fixed, or you think your vote. Altering, spoofing vote locally on device. So no matter what, if grandma votes, she might have malware, which that's another thing that we need to tackle as a community on device. Sorry, talking and trying to spell at the same time. And actually, this might be better if, well, whatever. I like it starting off with the white, but anyways, that's what Google said is like, if you're worried about either your spouse or your partner being upset with you because you voted different than them, or family or something, or if it's a local malware, actually, let's do that. Malware on device. This is like a kind of like an addition to that. Is it going to bleep that? Oh, whoops. Sorry, I know this one's going a little long now, but malware on device. So this is basically it. These are the last pieces. I'm going to do some Twitch streaming tonight. I got some stuff I got to take care of today, and I'm going to make it all make sense. I'm going to tag CodinGame so it's featured on the CodinGame website. That's where I'm mainly recruiting a lot of like people that would probably be willing to do this in many languages. And we're talking German, Russian, I don't even know where all else, like Spanish, Portuguese. I know some Brazilians on there, like you name it. We've got languages and they're all going to help all their communities. So we're going to do this as a team. We're going to do this as a global world of tech geeks and weird people, but good weird, that want to see no more of this, no more of that, no more of that. This is the big one, theft. That's not really a non-issue anymore. And then this is right, theft. This needs to be behaviorally corrected. Like, I mean, ideally I would get forgiveness from the people that I bothered, but the point is I bothered them, so I can't be bothering them still, if that makes sense. So I got to leave them alone and just know that they've forgiven, they probably won't ever forget, and we're good. So they'll let me know if they're not good. As long as I got to leave them alone though. Otherwise you could cause more problems. And phishing, this goes right up there with all the other stuff. That's how you get predation, harassment, theft, blackmailing, all the bad things from these entry points, phishing, credit stealing, all that stuff. So, and MFA, what does it do? 99% of scams. There it is, ladies and gentlemen, and everyone in between. That's what we do. There it is, folks. All right, ta-ta for now. I'll see you in the next one. See you in Twitch and the Llama Lounge on Monday Mansion, and I'll put the links in these videos, and we'll go from there. All right, see you there.